tell you about Legend Seeker and how you can support its development while getting some awesome perks. By subscribing to our Legendary tier on YouTube or becoming a paid member on our Discord or Patreon, you'll get early access to all Legend Seeker lore and mechanics. This means you'll be among the first to dive into the world of Legend Seeker and give direct feedback that will help shape the game. But that's not all. Supporters will also be the first to playtest the system and will get exclusive invites to private streams where we discuss the game in detail. Your input will play a huge role in making Legend Seeker the best that it can be. Now, for those of you who love watching our tabletop role-playing game shows, supporting Legend Seeker comes with some fun bonuses for the casts. Here's how it works. If you are a Copper or Common member on Discord or Patreon, you can give a $20 benefit to a player of your choice. Silver and Uncommon members can give 2 benefits to 2 players of your choice. If you go the YouTube route, you can give a $50 benefit to a player of your choice. And for the ultimate support, Gold and Mythic members on Discord and Patreon give a $20 benefit to 3 players of your choice. You can choose from all casts across Moonskull. Every bit of support goes directly towards making Legend Seeker a reality. It helps fund the art, writing, editing, and eventual publishing of the game. So, if you want to be a part of this journey and support our shows, join our Legendary tier on YouTube or become a member on Discord or Patreon. We couldn't do it without you, and we're excited to build Legend Seeker together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the game.
Oh, look. It's the usual suspects. I'm Frost. I'm here. Brain dead. Brain fried. Tired. But here to do some lore. I'm Frost written. I'm working on lore for Legend Seeker. And drinking coffee. It's what's for dinner, I think. How's everybody doing? I got rain down again this afternoon. I went outside for a quick walk at lunch and like, oh, it's looking a little stormy. Got a little ways away from the house and all of a sudden I hear thunder, 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 thunder. Okay. So I turned around, took maybe 20 steps, and then the cloud said, "Get him!" It just got obliterated by rain. Like, oh, that was fun. And Max and April, the cats who were walking with me, just zoomed off into the bushes. An instant, a drop of rain fell. I'm like, thanks, guys. They knew the way. And when I got back to the front porch, because I cut through all the hawthorn and all the whatever these other little bushes that have thorns on them, asked my apple trees to get back onto my land quickly instead of going all the way around the whole block. Came across my lawn and got up onto the front porch. They're just sitting up there like, out of the rain. Good job, cats. Oh, it was fun. It was refreshing, except it's, you know, it was 80, 89 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever the hell it was. It was hot. Oh, hey, it dropped. It's only 85 right now. So the rain isn't as hot now. Yay. Oh, why did I get so many messages all of a sudden? Okay, I'm going to delete these because I don't need them. Right. There we go. All right. So, got some lore here. I was going to go in and write a little bit more on a few things in Solinor because Effie was working on the cover of the second book, which features an area in Solinor, specifically the King's Island, which is this little island here. Been in the 70s this week, depending on how Aaron hits says it might be a fun time. Yeah, did that get downgraded or did it never get upgraded into a hurricane? I wasn't paying enough attention, honestly. I know it was A big old storm. I just don't know where it ended up. All right, king, kill the green heart. I thought I had a note on this. I think we're gonna change this. Approaches the path. Okay, there we go. Gave up tracking it. Food, water, brand new gutters. Not much else I can do. That is true. That is true. You could. I don't know. Really, not much else you could do, is there? Make sure you have enough cookies hidden in the couch and other chairs, just in case. All right. Located in the lake that is fed by both rivers bounding Solon and Proper, this verdant island is home to the greatest lammoth tree that exists. It's beloved of Arendor as one of a handful of them that survives from the world's founding. Do-do-do-do. All right. Okay. How much trees never harvested? Those twisting vines of wild grapes. I just thought of a better way to write this sentence after I wrote it. There we go. That's my brain's fried, but I'll make it. All right. Oh my god, I want to turn this Copilot crap off so badly. How do I turn this crap off? I want to turn this off. Let me see if there's a way to turn it off. It just oh, it requires me to reset it. Oh, I have to go set. Okay. Okay. Let's try one thing. Let's see if we can get to one of these and not have to restart my machine. Oh my gosh, that opened up the largest window I've ever seen. All right, let's go into here. They suggest going here. Okay. Huh. Okay, the thing that they say is here is not here. Okay, so that's a lie. No, it doesn't exist there at all. Good job. All right, what do we do here? Customize this, text input, typing settings, customize it. Search, no. Nope, none of that will turn it off either. Okay, so Yeah, that website is a lie, probably generated by AI. Okay. This one is completely different. Okay. Apps for websites, no. Advanced, installed apps, default apps. This setting doesn't exist either. Fantastic. All right, let's just look here once and see if we can find it. Uninstall. Okay. Can I uninstall this? We'll see what happens here. Hopefully this doesn't... Wait, Microsoft 365. Okay. Nope, I don't want to install everything. Advanced options. Documents will not be affected. All right, let's try it once. Let's see what happens. Did it do it? All right, let's relaunch the document here once and see if I got rid of it. If I didn't, then basically there's still... Oh, it's still there. It did nothing. I'm so glad I uninstalled that app. And it didn't uninstall it. All right, let's just uninstall the whole app completely, altogether. Oh, great. Now Windows doesn't want to close. Oh, it did something. It just reflashed every window on my screen. Okay. Let's see what that did. Oh, no. Nope, still right there. It's literally right there. You cannot get rid of it. Yeah, I literally have uninstalled the app from the computer. It doesn't exist in Microsoft 365. It doesn't exist on the computer. But yet, it's still there. This person is saying, how do I disable all of it? They're like, no. Certainly. Here's a comprehensive, detailed article. Gee, that's not written by an AI. Understanding him. Why you would want to. Yeah, Oh, this one's telling you to go to a completely different place. This is the 4th place they've told me to go somewhere where they have it set up. Personalization. Taskbar. Okay. Find the button labeled Copilot and toggle it off. Oh, you mean the button that doesn't exist? I love how none of this actually works. None of it exists. And they say, oh, go find it. Wow. Taskbar behaviors? Nope. So, all right, fine. I'm just going to try my best to ignore it. It's infuriating and it's stupid. It is the worst tool crutch, and it is killing people's ability to actually think critically. People can use it all they want. I don't want to. You can't. You rang, Crescent? I've uninstalled it like 5 times. Yay! It's the best. I love the fact that you can uninstall it and it doesn't go anywhere. Ever. Oh, by the way, Crescent, the carbonated bubbles that were burning through my sinuses because I read something on the internet that I shared with you. The burn is gone now. I'm no longer suffering from carbonation in my sinuses. That was quite an amazing turn, though. I loved it, and it was disgusting. Yay! We can have a mutual anti-AI rant. Woohoo! Yeah. Now my nose is sniffling a little bit because, well, that much carbonation in my sinuses was probably, I don't know if that's a treatment for something. It's probably not a good thing. Feels like I inhaled some pool water, sort of. That kind of chlorine burn in my sinuses. Woo! Anyway, AI is literally a tool. It's kind of fun for making just images to do, like, well, for AI, for shows and stuff, it's kind of like, hey, here's what I think a character would look like, or here's what a scene would be when you're writing. I don't use them commercially to like make money or anything, but when people rely on the AI to write everything for them, or to summarize every conversation they had, or to find out if something is true, pretty soon you'll be in your floating lounge chair, and Wally and Eve and all the other robots will be serving you smoothies. All right. Anyway, back to the llama trees. Note to self: soda is not a sinus rinse. Yeah, probably not. It's not the lavage, navage, whatever those things are. Should have just had Crescent smack it out of you. She's been itching to beat something. Hey, when I told her the term that I saw on the internet, she almost, I think she said she almost choked. I don't remember if you almost spit a drink out of your nose or if you choked as well. I don't remember what it was. But yeah. The internet, it's unrivaled. It can catch you unawares. Sure it is, Ma. Go try it. Get some seltzer water and a little bit of lime and clear your sinuses out. This is not medical advice. Do not attempt this at home. Pass out of the bounds of Solinar. All right. Unless it's one word, not two words. Shouldn't go to those sites for us. Well, this was X. This was X.com, and somebody typified it really well. You should ask your daughter what the words were, because it was talking about female literature that is the kind of weird stuff that pervades the market, I guess, take over the market, where it's just like, my 17 werewolf boyfriends, or my business harem, or whatever the hell the new stuff is. Billionaire bear stuff, whatever. And it's not a very flattering term. But dang, it caught me unawares. And it's technically, I think, a pun. Just a super rude adult pun. Yeah, it's definitely X-rated from X.com. Hey, I was doing research on a character and I was typing in stuff because I asked them people who I know some people who have some very odd tastes. And so when I'm writing stuff for characters and coming up with characters, I will say, hey, if I wanted to see reference of something like this or read stuff about this, where would I go? And they'll send me stuff and they'll say, oh, type in this search word and I'll do that. Our Thursday night game, we're sitting there typing and I'm like, well, everybody's taking long in their terms. I'm like, I'll type in this search and I'm like, why did it search? I'm like, oh, I typed it over in the game chat. Well, I'm going to delete that. I was like, So yeah, fun times. I got to remember which chat and which thing I'm actually active in when I type in things. Yeah, I did a good job. You said it to Pop and he laughed. A business harem? What the fuck? Yeah, one of the stories that people were praising, it was a lady who goes. I'm trying to remember if she was. I think she was working there or applying for a job or doing something, and she has one boss who's like, the business version of a lumberjack in his tight Oxford shirt and this and that. But there's a project manager who's like this chiseled devil of a man, and then there's this other dude who's this, bad boy office guy or something, and she's like sleeping with all of them, and they all know it, and they're just having weird meetings. And I'm like, oh, a business harem. Okay, got it. And that's a thing, and it sells well. Oh. Hmm. All right, let's see. I was talking about the Lameth trees that are never harvested, though the twisting wild grapevines that live in synergy with the great trees are harvested by the elves to make the various wines and trees. So that tree that Effie is drawing, this is the King's Island. It's also called the Green Heart. This verdant island is home to the greatest Lameth tree that exists. So it's one of a handful of them that survives from the world's founding. It's possibly not the oldest, but it is the largest. And it has stood here since the founding of the world because they're beloved of Arendor. And, well, it may or may not have special protections from the god and the elves. Have you heard about the Hear Me Out sections at Barnes & Noble? No, Jensen. Be honest, I think I did actually type something into one of our game chat, and afterwards Rudai messaged me, no working during game time. This is when you're supposed to relax. Nice. Makes the things like Spice and Wolf seem completely vanilla. I'm scared. I'm not scared because I won't ever go there, but I'm scared. I'm scared. Bet they have some awkward business meetings. Oh, if you mean awkward as in let's close the blinds. Yeah, I'm sure they're awkward. Yeah, I can't say that I can understand any of it. I had somebody who's an acquaintance-ish, sort of. Not really, but somebody that I'd talked to online before because of a vampire game quite a while ago. And they were talking about something. He's like, "Oh, I finally put out my my smutty novel." And I was like, "Oh God, I wrote a smutty novel." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I tried so hard to just be like, "Yep, cool." And she just kept saying, "So, yeah, it's really cool. It's this and that." I'm like, "Okay, great. Okay." And then, of course, it turned into the whole vegan thing. Like, here it is. I'm like, I didn't ask for this. I don't want to see it. And it was horrible and just poorly written, just fanfic of character becoming a quasi call girl while she's working in the financial sector. I think she was a stockbroker or a portfolio manager or something. And I'm just like, okay, thanks. I didn't want to read this. And I'm like, Sorry, it's just cringy. Cringish. Cringish Maximus. I don't quite understand the need for that, but hey, maybe it must be something in certain people's psyche that they're like, I gotta write this. And after I said, oh, okay, interesting, I was like, oh, well, it's not quite the writing that I would like. And she's like, well, I did use AI to get some of it out. I'm like, gee, imagine that. Hmm. And the best part about that is this lady is, I'm pretty sure she's British. And she said it felt really good to break out of the stereotype of the British mindset. And I was like, she is totally British. Because I had guessed up until that point that she was. And then she literally confirmed it after I thought it. Never tell people that you're interested in writing unless you want that. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, look at my manuscript. Anyway, let's see here. Also, why is vanilla considered to be plain? Vanilla is actually quite flavorful and aromatic. It is. It's got a bad rap. Vanilla is one of my favorite flavors. Sitting next to friends at a wedding, they admitted those books are all they read. I was very grinning, not, oh dear. Spice and Wolf is a romance anime where the woman is a mythical demigod. She looks in the early mid-20s. She has a foxtail ears. Oh, that sounds horrific. So who gets the promotion this week? Oh God, Barnes and Nobles. It was like full-on monster smut. Yeah, the monster smut is a thing. Lonely men can become simps. Lonely women become that. Anyway, back to work. We'll be lurking after my brain did its weird rantings. Hey, all right. Woo! Where is... Wait, why did the chat just... Oh, it just scrolled up on me. Oh, I think... Oh, are my batteries dying on my mouse? Oh, I'll change those quickly. I have new batteries right here. Let's do that. I should have done this before the stream. Oh no, the cover of my mouse came off. Look, doesn't it look kind of like a little mask of some sort? Hey, by the way, I'm moving around here, right? Because my... There we go. Batteries changed. My image and everything on OBS just went away. I'm going to go back to the Be Right Back screen and come back. I'm going to transition the screen around here when this happens. Oh, okay, things froze for a bit there. Well, it basically has me frozen on my OBS screen. So if the stream dies at any point, I guess blame it on OBS because I'm frozen on there. It's just me looking down at the keyboard like I'm, sad, like sad Keanu Reeves eating a sandwich on a bench. Oh well. Okay, anyway. So, fallen leaves and branches from the great trees are collected and reserved for crafts and stored carefully for future use. These treasures rarely pass out of the bounds. Yeah, out of the bounds. I don't like the way that's phrased, but I'll come back to it. Out of the bounds of Sonar, unless in the hands of an elf, though in the past items created from them had been granted to great allies. I'll say now, rarely, to get that rooted in the right time frame. There we go. Sad wizard memes incoming. Well, here, I'll, we don't, oh, wow, I can't even take a screenshot without it. Wow, did that? Oh, that's interesting. It won't let me take a shot without it being super overblown. Why is it doing that? My machine is just being stupid right now. Refresh my screen. Nope, it's going to do it no matter what I do. What if I start it over here? Yep, does it no matter what. I'm confused by life. Yeah, I've got 2 different sets of brightness. Wow, my machines are just doing all the crazy stuff right now. Oh well. It's not that big a deal. I won't take a screenshot of it. We'll survive. It'll just be overly bright. Copy to clipboard. I wonder if it actually does it. Here, I'll send it to the group chat that we were just in, Crescent. This is overly bright shot, but this is what I'm seeing right now. And I know it looks blown out, but oh well. All right. So, granted to great allies, connected to the mainland of Solonor by an arching bridge of eggshell design. We'll say stone bridge of ancient elven design. The approaches and paths are tirelessly guarded by the elite of the elven forces. I guess it makes, there's no reason to say it's elven design because obviously designed by elves. Okay. Most trespassers. What I'm trying to put down here is that the elves are, when people are trespassing coming in there, if they're normal trespassers, like, oh, we're going to sneak over there and see what it is or do something, they deal with them not harshly exactly, but I'm trying to decide if they do deal with them harshly. They're prepared to do it, but I'm saying that most trespassers find themselves returned across the river, waking from slumber, none the worse from where. Trespassers find themselves returned across the river, waking from slumber, none the worse from where, washed over by elven rangers who then give them a stern warning. You make this choice to tempt fate twice. All right, there we go. Only the druids of Eredor and the current king of the elves are allowed to set foot on the island, silent, let alone approach the tree itself. We'll say current king of the elves is and his guards are allowed to set foot on this island, let alone approach the tree itself. Dithra, the Green Heart, sleeps here, and she forms the great hill that rises behind the tree. It's not common knowledge. It is only known by the elven druids and the current and former kings of Solonor. So, even though it's going to be on the cover, it's, a secret peek. Like you're the secret witnesses, I guess, of something in the lore. When you look at the cover, most people don't know that green hill is a dragon. Oh. After the war skills, tensions between the elves and the dragons were pledge to guard this. Greatest of the Lama trees. What the heck is his name again? Now I'm trying to remember his name. I don't think Aruda in here right now. I'm gonna go look at the lore. I'm trying to remember the name of. I've got it sort of. It's more something Moragath or something like that. It's the Black Dragon. Related lore. Variant class reveal. Lore creatures. Where are they? Black dragon, dragon, ruby dragons, kobolds, gold dragons, white dragons, blue dragons, black dragons. There we go. It is. It's Moragath. I was right. I just didn't think I was right. All right. All right. Is this tree a world tree? We can call it Bob for now. Yeah, Viridithra. No, you found it. So these trees, they're not technically a world tree, but they are the first trees that Arendor created and planted on the planet because the dragons were first, and then the elves. But when they created all this nature and did all these things with Auriel's help and Arendor, the Lamath trees were one of the great things. They planted these small trees and they let them grow. And unlike a lot of other things, like back in the day, everything was invested with a serious amount of life and creation until their ability to create new life and create new forms, the spark of life and all their powers were kind of running a little bit shallow. And the ancient things they created were much more durable and almost eternal. So these trees are, well, a symbol of Arendor for one thing, but also the kind of the heart of the elven lands. So they are important. Their roots go deep. And some of the during the War of Scale, some of the dragons wanted to do nothing else than to hurt the elves, and so they tried to kill all the Lamath trees, which didn't make Arendor very happy. You can't curl a world, Bob. Nice. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to have some of their ancient weapons and some of their cool things made from the wood of the Lamath trees that has fallen, like a great bow. Yeah, burr in my hair again. Thanks, cats. Okay. Yeah, spears, bows, all kinds of cool stuff. I don't think they probably have boomerangs. Elven boomerang. Elven maracas. Well, those are gourds usually, aren't they? All right, let me check on this one thing again. Conducting the mainland alone aboard an arching stone bridge, the approaches and paths are tirelessly guarded by the elite of the elven forces. Elves of Solon are allowed no trespassing here and are prepared to deal harshly with any who do so. Yep. Druids of Arendor, the current king of the elves, and his guards are allowed to set foot on this island, let alone approach the tree itself. Scales tension between the elves and the dragons were high, and the elven king and Veridir came to an understanding. So the people of the gods do not know of this truth. They do know that the tension between the first and second born races of the gods had cooled significantly. Okay. What's going on? F2P Coder. Just writing some lore, working on lore of the elves of Solinor for Legend Seeker. Okay, this I can shrink and continue my other chaos activity. Wait, you're doing chaos activities, Sassy Witch? Oh no. So they involve a small rabbit. The roots of the tree on one side conceal a water-filled cave entrance that exists under the island, and only the druids of the island know how to convince the entry of the great tree to retract them and allow boats. Entry. Great treasures and uh, protected. Protected. Live today. Don't need two ands in that sentence. Keeper's lore that even the elves alive today do not fully understand. Okay, there we go. What if you had a destroyed city due to the War of the Gods? There are a bunch of those. There's one right here, in fact. Funny you say that. Presepe. There used to be a massive human city at the end of this part of the coast where the Elven River would come down and it broke through the area, and there was this huge human city, an Agrian city, and it was destroyed in the War of the Gods by them trying to get to the Island of the King. They couldn't get there. It got obliterated, and now its ruins are scattered around this whole delta. It was a massive city, and people still dive in there, go through the ruins. They try to find old artifacts. The road that used to connect, like Port Hallis and Aldholm and everything along the coast, is disrupted. There are bridges there still. Some of the old bridges do exist, but it's kind of patchwork, and bandits will set up in there occasionally trying to stop people traveling through. But yeah, most people, when they go from Aldholm to Port Hallis, will either go up and try to go through Solinor, which some people have the ability to go through because they're allowed. They'll sail through, or they will just go to Aldholm. They will get in a boat and they will head down to Port Hallis, and they'll skip the whole land journey there because it's dangerous. No, that was yesterday. I had a spider land in my lap. I had to move my living room around because she was eating wires. Oh no! Wait, the bunny eating wires? Hopefully not the spider eating wires. Also, the city is cursed in a time loop. The day repeats filled with ghosts who have no way to release the loop. Now, you're talking more like fun stuff we could be doing up here. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Here in Las Balara, where there are a lot of horribly haunted places like Rosecrest, Narrows Keep, Eldwin, and some of the Villa Nocturna, and these places in here definitely can have that kind of stuff. Because this place is rife with undead. There are riders. There's one of the rumors is there's a rider that runs along this road. It's warning people of an incoming undead incursion, but he rides at the full moon. And he's been dead for a very, very, very long time, but he still rides. And there are waves of undead and things coming out of the Whitewood, which could fit into all that fun stuff. But then you also have fun destroyed cities way over here, near Folos and Seabreak Haven. There are some old cities. There's this tower in this old city here, where there is a segment of it that still exists from this fallen kingdom. And this is where one of the most pitiable little characters I made in the game lives. There is, of all the gargoyles that existed on all these places that guarded these buildings for the gods and the temples, there is one who survived the destruction of the kingdom, but he was already damaged. He had gotten one of his wings broken off, and he was sent out to guard like a nowhere outpost because he wasn't useful anymore. His name is Flarp. Nobody remembers his real name, but his name is Flarp because the pitiable noise he would try make when he tried to fly with his little stone wings was just this horrible noise, and he would be laboring. But he's still there. All his friends are gone, but he still guards the temple because that's what he was told to do, and he's still there. Now, part of his lore is if somebody can find a way to give him back his wing, he'd probably be their friend for the rest of his existence. But yeah, he's been here forever and ever. Poor little Flarp. Poor Flarp! Jumping, it fell out of my Porthos ivy wall. Oh! Funny was, Spider is dead, said Dave. Well, Spider. Flarp. I went outside today. Remember I told you guys that I had that spider in the front that I walked right into a spider web and I had to move him off to the side? I figured it was dead and the cats killed it, but I see there's now a brand new web up in the corner. In the black and yellow spider, little garden spider, whatever the heck they're called, has a nice big web with some little bugs caught in it. So I'm like, oh, maybe he didn't get killed. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. What were we doing here? Oh yeah, we're talking about ruined cities, Presepe. Maybe we'll go back and visit Presepe here again. Why is that complaining about that? Okay, I shouldn't complain about the word. Roots of the tree on one side conceal a water-filled cave entrance that exists under the island, and only the druids of the island know how to convince the great tree to retract them and allow boats passage to the hallowed chambers therein. The next paragraph kind of talks about what's in there. Unknown to most, the great treasures and artifacts of the elves reside in these blessed vaults, protected with old magic based on the keeper's lore that even the elves today do not fully understand. So good luck getting in there. If the Rudy Poos don't get you, wait. There's never just one spider. That's true. Unrelated. This reminded me of something. In the back part of the house, I put some new little kitty cat houses out there. I got rid of the old ones that were out there. And they're this hard resiny plastic, so they won't rot or fall apart or anything. And they have a little roof and a little padded door. So there's the one way in, or 2 ways in, 2 ways out. And I put little heat reflecting mats in there, like fuzzy little mats that have a heat reflected bottom, so they keep the kitties warm when they're in there. And I put one of them in the back, replacing the other one, and it's got a little sloped roof. So the front of the roof is a little higher than the back. And it's kind of back up near the patio door. One of those calico cats that's been coming around has decided she likes laying on there. But when I open the door to go outside and use the back patio or bring out some food, she's like, hisses and runs away and hates me. But she lays on that thing and always looks to see what I'm doing inside. She fell asleep on it with her back up on the top part. So her tail's up here, just kind of flopped and curled. Her head's laying down here. And where the back of it is like this, she laid her head here and she fell asleep like this with her head hanging off the edge right next to the door. It looked like she had just died on there. I was like, oh no. And looking at watching, and I see her little body breathing. I'm like, okay, she's fine. But she just fell asleep so hard that her head was just like almost at a 90-degree angle, like, ugh. Like, all right, she's calm and happy and fed, so she's found a place she feels comfy. Got it. Is there a place to add a cursed lake that has ghost leviathan that guards a mysterious, and also what a feature in City Hill's secret or clue magic items, the way you can use the city? So we do have, it's not really a curse. Well, we have an interesting place. We have Mordecai's throne here, which is a still lake that may or may not be a place where the psychopomp and all of his minions and people can get in and out of the world of the dead, maybe. But Las Thalasia was just destroyed. This used to be a much larger landmass connected and having all this space. It was obliterated by Grix and his forces. This deep, dark place, the Abyss here, there may be one or two or more aboleths down here that had a hand in helping him to destroy the entire the island and everything to do with it. They may still be lurking down there doing things. Maybe. You can go full metal gargoyle, give Flarp back his wing. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. And over here, this is the initial area that you're going to get an adventure. Moss is writing this and using the lore that I come up with and the lore he's working on. The initial adventure is going to be around this place called Seabreak Haven, the Whispering Woods, and these caves. These sea caves are full of goblins. This little thing, if you can see this little squared X on this island, this is a wizard's tower that you have to deal with, and the Seabreak Haven with its path all the way through to Port Castra, the Whispering Woods, and everything around here. This is the kind of intro adventure to the Godlands that is being worked on. Well, I think it's the intro. Or is it a low level? It might either be a low level or it might be the intro adventure. I'm not sure if the Nuggets of Nya is the intro one or not. But these towers, and we are working on some more towers. This one is not one of the main wizard towers where you go to learn wizardry. This is one of them, Tower of Dusk up here. And where all the wizard towers and everything to go with that started was in Ustra, this magical wizard school that was started because nobody trusted near the in the Godkiller War and afterwards, nobody trusted wizards and people using the mana stream to be in the cities training and doing stuff because it's just way too dangerous. So they made them go outside of the towns. So they created this. The wizards were all like, yes, we're going to build this place. Ustra built it and started to work on it. And they're like, so we're going to do it this way, right? They're like, no, we're doing it this way. No, we're doing it this way. And all 8 of them couldn't agree. So they decided, screw this. We're all going to make our own wizard tower to teach people how to be wizards the correct way. So Ustra is one of them. The Tower of Dusk is another. And Erudai is working on more of those. These towers are where people learn magic in very different ways. This one all has to do with defending and destroying undead. And it's a very, very harsh place. We haven't really decided a whole lot about Ustra yet. But anyway, yeah, there's a whole bunch of those things kind of working under the scenes. Hate the word limit for chat, so sorry if I eat my words as I type. I love writing lore. Hey, that's fantastic. Yeah, chat character limit is annoying. Feel free to type. It's okay to have a lot of chat. And you can also, after the stream, if you have any thoughts that you didn't get in here, save some of your notes, throw them in comments. We love comments. In fact, comments help a lot. Like if you guys have more thoughts on other things we could do with Flarp. More Flarp lore. Right? Right. How's it going, this eccentric? How's everybody doing over there? Yeah, if you don't want him to trespass again, you got to apply some consequences. So the fact, and right now, depending on how people would do this, the NPCs, you can say they got it. They're like, hey, these guys had me at their mercy and they didn't murder me. They didn't kill me. They didn't just send me down a stream. They stood and watched over me and then just said, we're watching you. Don't try it again. Now, player characters, we know player characters. So there will be consequences. And that's why I love the tone and what's being worked on for the second cover, because it's being shown that there are like the Rudy Poos on the side that have been alerted, and they're like, ah, and everybody's getting alerted because of that. So that'll be entertaining. Doing well. My brain is fried, but I'm doing all right. So there is a place called the Underside too. That is the mirror world of this, where during the Godkiller War, the elves got a hold of one of Grix's weapons and took it. And they said, we are going to figure out what he's doing, and we're going to use this magic against him. And the elves are like, maybe this is not a good idea. They're like, no, it'll be fine. And they went up to this place called Icegult. They went all this far away from everything and said, we are going to figure this out. And I don't remember how long of a... I thought I had another entry. I guess I don't have the other entry in here. Oh, goody. My word is just being amazing. Yeah, it's not showing... Because there's a guy named Mosh, the Black Tongue. He's a bad guy. Oh, did we move this one? Did I move this one? Let me check something really quickly. Oh, I did switch this to the place of just one guy. All right, never mind. The other one, the other area is up here near the expanse of the End Mother. So what they did was they went there with this weapon. They said, we're going to figure it out. We're going to find a way to use it against Grix. And while they were screwing around with it, he activated the other one that was the sister to it, which in turn set theirs off. But while they were tinkering with it, it was tapped into their magic and the mana stream. So it imploded and it created the Underside, which is kind of a mirror universe of everything. The elves that got dragged into it are now these hideous, like, dark elven versions of themselves, kind of the inverted solarized version. They, hate light. They hate everything. There are mirror versions of the gods. There are the Underside version of gods and everything. It is a horrible, dark, vicious place that has holes through the rest of the universe. That there's entire entries written about that too, that Erudai's come up with all the and how it connects to all the other creatures, the dead, the devils and demons. It's pretty interesting stuff. Chat is cat in French. Meow. Hello, Paul Farrell. What if Flarp is actually cursed and can actually do a lot of lax free once commanded to repeat a test every day by someone? Well, he is technically commanded right now, or he was commanded, let's just say. He was commanded to guard this temple. And I think in the last version, let's see, Flarp. So here's the lore about Flarp. Given this nickname by his brethren, Flarp is a one-winged, pitiable, but somewhat harmless gargoyle that used to watch over a temple of Thalassia, south of Bolos. Oh, that's right, I moved it over here. That is a completely different place. That's the milestone and fort and everything. He slept through the majority of the destruction, only to awake centuries later, a lone stone figure still sitting on a segment of the crumbled temple. His brethren are all gone, the city swallowed by the salt marshes. He now wanders the marshes, looking for his kind, watching the humid villages from afar, afraid to approach these descendants of those who made him long ago. So he basically just wanders this area, guarding, looking at it, because there's nothing to guard. It's like a corner of a temple now. He isn't stupid, but he's very lethargic. If one can manage to befriend him and also manage to keep him awake and interested, he has encyclopedic knowledge of Thalassia and its people from before the war. Before he lost his wing, he had been a messenger of Thalassia's priests, so he saw and heard much of their high-level conversations and saw much of their palaces. If befriended, Flarp could become a staunch ally. If his wing is restored to him, he could become a lifelong friend. He no longer recalls his actual name, having been called Flarp for so long. So he is free to move about the area. And we could, and this is where I leave some of this stuff open, because this is what we write. Boom. If somebody decides exactly like you did, like, ooh, what if he's repeating something all the time? Then, boom, the DM will be like, so, here we go. He's friendly to you, but like at nighttime, he will just say, I have to go, and he'll go back and he will guard the thing all night, or he'll guard it all day, sleeping. And that's where the, I love the writing the lore, but leaving it holes and hooks and rumors and stuff everywhere so people can just say, my version has Flarp doing this. And I absolutely love that. Meets a Mason, they make a new wing. There you go. Emo world filled with emo elves. Yeah, basically, Feline. They're all like, I'm just working on my music right now. They're just trying to, get free of the man. Why did I get 7 YouTube notifications all at once? Okay, evidently YouTube decided it was going to tell me a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, great. Fantastic. I didn't need to know all that. I don't care. I'm on YouTube at the moment. I'm doing stuff at the moment. People, leave me alone. All right. Some person says they regret undergoing cosmetic surgery to appeal to men. Is that what you think you did it for? Okay. Okay. All right. Close that window. Where's my thesaurus? He's pawing at the back door. All right, there's my thesaurus. Sorry, I had to take the headphones off because I'm listening to music while I'm talking to you guys, and I heard a noise. What the heck is that? It's making a strange noise when I'm typing too. Some stuff around. There we go. I'm currently listening to Major Tom. Not a phase, Mom. NPC idea of an old elf or humanoid from an old world stuck in a sealed or underground ruins and are hibernating. Yeah, I have a where is he? He's technically on the one of the guys is on the Umbrella Atoll. It's similar to that idea. He is there sleeping. I don't really have anybody else sleeping. I'd always do something out in the Azure Kingdom where there's an old wizard in one of these old places asleep and waiting. Because they have their share of old tombs and secret places there. The Azure Kingdom is just going to be a hell of a lot of fun, quite honestly, to go through. Because endless seas of sodalite deserts with blue sand, massive temples and things everywhere, the Veil of Glass, people sailing across the sand on their sand ships, their skiffs. Just the Kelk sand, the Grixfall with the meteors falling when the moon comes through, dragging them in its wake and pummeling the land with little stones falling to earth and people racing out to try and get them since they're worth so much. It's going to be fun. The cat market. I'm excited about this area. I think it'll be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. Let's see. What was I doing here? All right, we'll go back up to Solinar. Well, though technically I finished the Solinar, so let's go to Resepe. Go back to Presepe. So this was a major Agrian port, which did brisk trade with the elves and supplied the mainland of Fryland for generations. Fryland used to be part of the Agrian Empire as well, until they got abandoned. The great Agrian city lies in ruins scattered across the eastern coast of the Paludis Virecta, known to most as the Great Delta. Within sight of the island of the Great Tree, once a fertile headland, the great city was destroyed during the Godkiller War. Kabloom! Its ruination came not at the hand of Grixis forces, but at those of the great dragon Moragath, the dragon we were talking about earlier, that is trying to do stuff up in here, is trying to do stuff here, he's trying to take out the island, who tried to enlist the aid of the great city against his nemesis Viridithra and the elves who she had allied with. Since he could not move against her directly within the lands of Solinor, he unleashed his fury against the great city of Presepe and the beautiful wetlands it spanned. In one day and night of rage, he systematically tore apart the city and its magnificent bridges as the people fled to Solinor along the coast of the neighboring kingdoms. Viridithra and the elves watched from a distance as the Agrian metropolis was sundered by his fury. The Agrians have never forgiven their former elven allies for not intervening. This dislike has festered for nearly a millennium. Treasure hunters often ply the delta in drier seasons, hoping to find long-lost items among the ruins. Man, I can't imagine going through an old delta civilization and just digging in it. That's got to be dangerous work. Super dangerous. Azure Kingdom is definitely an interesting one. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting and fun and cool. I think it's gonna be a very strange place, but it'll be very fun. It's different. So there is a group called the Brotherhood of the Gilded Veil that spans this whole area, and they were dedicated to a lot of research and a lot of questionable things, let's just say. And they are responsible for some horrific things. So they have temples and places here and there that people can still find. They are responsible for creating these kind of jungle temple sort of ziggurats, Bashmu, Alu, and Rabisu, that were three temples in their mind, because they didn't care about the gods very much. In their minds, it was their way to find out how to use the magic of the keepers, which are the people who made the gods. So, in fact, I believe at least one of the legendary or one of the mythic characters is going to be tied to one of these. So, one of the mythic characters made by one of the people who's a mythic supporter is going to be tied to one of these in a way. Because these temples of unveiling, one of the long abandoned temples of unveiling, Alu is the shrine of Quietus incarnate. So this is Alu. The Brotherhood of the Gilded Veil sought to understand the gods and keepers' abilities to suppress or negate other powers here. Here they created many spells and artifacts that could interfere with other magics and powers, and where they created the horrific weapon that sterilized the dwarves. A massive and ancient stone ziggurat, whose peak barely rises above the jungle's canopy, Alu's peak holds a giant piece of enchanted obsidian, similar to the other temples of unveiling. Unbreakable, with ragged edges sharper than a razor, few understand even a portion of what purpose these volcanic glass monoliths serve. Now, there are two more of these. This one is the fractal magic, Bashmu, manifold fractal magic. And the Shrine of Lingering Life is Rabisu, which is the horrible, horrible necromancer's paradise. It's a bad place. But they also created all the horrors that you'll find in the jungles of Xanatha. This is where you'll find the Velociraptors. You will find all kinds of other creations. Now, I can't remember if they were responsible for spawning the mum race or not, but the mums and other creatures are up in some of these areas, like above Luboon and here. But this also has a gate hidden in here that will take you to the Umbral Atoll, where even more horrible old magic went on. And the old races there that got destroyed because of the Brotherhood and their own arrogance. And then the horrible things Grix did to the people who lived there during the war, which created the Soul Forged. It's all linked together. Mythic character. So a mythic character is if you are a Patreon supporter at the mythic level for 6 months, you get to work with Erudai to create a mythic character that will be in the lore, will factor possibly into the history of the world or the current state of the world. They will be like if you look at old like Forgotten Realms, Elminster, or one of the Harpers or something like that. A character that everybody's like, ooh, there's a spell named after that guy. This is Mordenkainen. This is blah, blah, blah. If somebody supports at the mythic level for 6 months continuously, then they get to work with Erudai to make a character that will go in our lore. It'll be in the books. They'll have an entry. They'll have stats. I believe there's going to be a piece of art. And I think also as a mythic supporter, you also will get a limited edition. I think you'll get a painted figure painted by Velrock, but the figure will be printed, created, and I think painted by Velrock of that character, which will be, there'll be, I think, one of them. And I think you also get a Grix statue or something like that. It's an investment to be sure, but it's fun if you really want to be deeply involved in the world. I think it's Chrysanth. Do you remember how much it is a month for the mythic? I don't remember off the top of my head. I think she has a link to the. Yeah, yeah. If you go up to the Legend Seeker Patreon thing, right above Cage and Corey saying howdy Frost and howdy Cage and Corey, $250 a month. Yep. So it's an investment to be sure. Oh yeah, she explained the whole thing, the whole damn thing right there. She got you covered. And she was more succinct about it. You are correct, Feline. Filled with emo elves, their chants and songs they sing are all covers from emo bands like My Chemical Romance, etc., etc. like the ones who came and took Hans and Riffs. They're a bunch of emo girls. Oh wait, no, those are goth girls. Never mind. Ba, ba, ba. I've got some Star Wars music running through my head right now while I'm listening to another song, which is really weird. Huh. All right. What? Did I cuss? Did I cuss? You have to be succinct with the character limit. Hey, there you go. Boop, 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 boop. Huh. I did make some, I did say a couple things in Cthulhu. I said, damn, yes. Yeah, I normally don't. I did for my character on Cthulhu say the F word, which it cracked JT up, which was fun. All right, here. Oh yeah, here's the note. The Umber Portal. There's a great portal and complex built long ago by the Brotherhood in the jungles, though no locals would take adventuring parties there, as it resides near a number of fell beasts which they see little honor in disturbing. The party does stumble onto the locale and manages to defeat or drive off the creatures living there. They may have a chance to discover how the device works. Unknown to most, this portal connects to a sister portal on the Umbral Atoll. I almost said sinister portal. Either of which may be activated to create a temporary two-way magical transport, though the cost to do so is significant and should be undertaken only by a well-versed wizard. The other thing is, Kiru is, controls kind of this whole peninsula, and getting down there, you either have to come by boat and pop through one of their towns, or you have to try and get in there somewhere not near one of their ports, which is not exactly smart. Report the project when I can, but right now it's not possible. I can spread the word and give lore ideas. Yes, definitely. Definitely, Coder. Do it. Dr. Frost would have cast a spell on himself, wouldn't allow him to swear. Well, I can break it. I can break it. Yeah, my family, my brothers, my older brothers, two of them were Marines who retired, and other people in my family is just swearing up a storm everywhere. My friends swearing up a storm in college and high school. They just took it as a great, like, we can say all the words, and they were just vile. Now that they got a little older, it's a little less like they swear or whatever. And they won't say any of that stuff in front of their family most of the time. I'm like, wow, that's quite a change for you guys. They're like, what? Like, uh-huh. Dorks. All right. I'm all over the place here today now. Presepe. I didn't see anything else I need to write about Presepe yet. So I'm going to hold off on that. Oh, yeah, there are lower tiers. Gold's 80 a month, silver 20 a month, copper is 5 a month. Just getting the word out is a massive help. Exactly. Exactly. One of my coworkers says the F word almost every other word. Woof. Wow. That's impressive. Your cousin drops F-bombs without realizing it. Yeah, there are a lot of people who it's just become normal everyday speech for them. They can't not say it. It's too bad because it really robs you of using other words. But hey, who cares, right? It's like a meme I saw the other day where people were like, spelling doesn't matter. You can figure it out by context. I'm like, oh, okay. And there was a picture of a bunch of like bread and rolls and stuff. And it had a sign there. It says, please only use tongues to pick up the bread. I think they spelled it. Did they spell it right or wrong? I don't remember if they spelled it Tounge or Tongu. Yeah, regardless, they did not spell the word tongues properly. So they literally told people to only pick up the bread with their tongues. Good luck with that. If you have a tongue that can pick up bread, you're probably a lizard man. It's not as bad as your coworker. Try to watch my language depending on where I'm at. Like in your chat or Tablet's chat, but at work when I'm mad, I cuss up a storm. Bad for using GD, but been trying my best not to use that and been fairly successful unless I'm really mad. Well, that's good. Witchy don't realize I cuss. I'm very aware when I say something, except when I say damn, evidently. I should say, oh, dang. Oh, my. Now I'm listening to Don Henley's The Boys of Summer. Really good song. Oops. All right. Somehow I got over to the tea house, and I'm looking at the tea house. Why am I looking at the tea house? Because evidently it's on my mind. The ancient and storied Temple to the Clouds rests high on the loftiest peaks of the rain wall. The approach is treacherous despite the winding roads leading to it, and many who set out on the path turn back before completing their journey to the hidden vale. Those who persevere are greeted by the sight of a great stone bathhouse flanked by manicured hot springs, great waterfalls plunging from the peaks above to feed the great lake, and the stunning tea house itself. Folk come here for counsel from the oracles of a tea house, some paying dearly for a chance to gain knowledge, some coming away with pearls of wisdom for free. They know not where the oracles gain their knowledge, but gladly accept and act on it. Hello, Matthew Weeks. Be safe out there. I hear, oh mine, I think of Star Trek. Oh, nice. Wait, I have tasted the soap of punishment enough times and I'm scared for life, says Beeline named JJ over on Kick. Does communion bread count? I can pick that up with my tongue. I don't know. It's a wafer. I mean, it's technically bread, so you followed the sign. Good job. Day and night, one personality is good and the other destructive and evil. Interesting. A dragon with two personalities. Could be entertaining. I have a little kobold that does that, and he serves a dragon, but he's insane. Interesting. Aren't any mythic slots open right now, as far as I know? But in dropping mine down next month, well past 6 months, want to save some money, scoop it up if you can. I think he may, Aruna may have opened up some more. Yeah. Oh yeah, he opened more, and there were always one or two left. Okay. Funny you should mention that, though, Crescent said. Funny you should mention that. Okay, Cindervale is the order of Sarah monks who built their main training grounds in the most inhospitable section of the Rainwall Mountains to the north of Kriru. The valley they chose features active geysers, magma flows, and poisonous gas-filled, though dormant, lava tubes which delve deep beneath the peaks. In addition, it is a convergence of mana stream energy which they use to tempt and train both their initiates and themselves daily. Monks use the deadly terrain and natural obstacles as training grounds, toughening their bodies as well as their minds in the highly dangerous valley. Visitors are welcome at the keep, although they are not allowed to access the training grounds or travel the paths of adversity the monks use for training. Saren monks do not claim to be part of the Kiru proper, and the Kyrians leave them alone, not considering them a threat. In addition, they have a cordial relationship with the tea house and its adherents. Monks from the order often serve as guards to the oracle there as part of their final training. So, the JJ, what was the flavor of soap that you got punished with? Was it Irish Spring? Dove? Something else? Hmm. Well, that would be quite a that would be quite a thing. Replacing yourself with an evil twin. What did my machine do? It's okay. I'm confused by this. I don't know why this song showed up, and it is so stupidly annoying. I'm trying to kill it, but I can't kill it. Okay, there. Get out of here. Wow. I don't even know what that was, and I don't want to know what it was. Oop, I closed my browser. Well, dang it. Now I gotta open a new browser. Fine. It was some obnoxious one of those things where they have like 5 or 7 girls who are all doing weird dance moves and stuff while they're singing, like K-pop or J-pop or something, and it just blah. So much sadness in my brain. Uh Okay, that wasn't any better. We already have a croissant for the double personality thing. Oof. Liquid hand soap. 2 pumps for each bad word. Woof. Wow, feline. That was something. I grew up a little differently. I heard people swearing and I was like, wow, that's pretty stupid. I don't understand what they're even saying. And then I was like, well, whatever, okay. And if I did something wrong, usually it was just a stern look from somebody like, what did you do? Like, never doing it again. Terrible, but my mother became Judge Red as my dad worked on the railroad and was away for days. Ah, there we go. As a middle child, I didn't want attention ever, so I just did what I was supposed to do as the good kid, and I just was like, okay. So a lot of it was my own decision, I suppose. For me, it was whatever was nearest. Yeah, I've never had my mouth washed out with soap. Cinderella, tea house, blah 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 blah. The dyes and the silks. Athelstan. Okay, this is the priest Athelstan, Temple of Orin. Let's see. Do I have to write anything else about? Yeah, I don't need to put that. That's already there. Okay. Well, now I want to go back up to get to the Malach, the Black Tongue. The reality is just a ring. That's fun. I did that in a campaign at one point. I gave them. It was a. There were these sticks that they found. They finally figured out what they were for, but until they got to that point, they didn't understand what they were. They were sticks. They're basically like a chopstick. They found these little things that were covered in runes, and they kept finding them in these wizards enclaves, and they were always studying them, trying to figure it out. They finally figured out what they were eventually, but until then, they were just obsessed with trying to find out what they were. They're like, what are these things? Where are they? What do they do? They're magical. What are they? And it's kind of fun to put that stuff in an adventure or in a world and let people just kind of work on it and be like, okay, that's a secondary adventure. We're just going to keep working on it. Got the belt several times. Pretty sure I've got a repressed memory or two. I don't think I was ever. I might have been spanked when I was a kid at some point. If I was, it was like, okay. I usually just tried not to misbehave. Because misbehaving was just, like I said, a way to get more attention. And you're like, no, I can do what I want if nobody's paying attention. All right. Okay. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, Malach, the Black Tongue. He's the one who is in Ice Cult. To become a lich, and this is the thing that made the phrasing, the way I wrote this down, made Michaela very like, ew. And I'm like, well, I wrote it to be disturbing. So, to become a lich, Malak seduced his own daughter into sacrificing her soul to aid him in his journey. Now free from the shackles of mortality, he has delved deep into the lore of the Keepers, following the steps of Grix himself. He experiments on not only the denizens of the underside, but his own people have made him something of a pariah. With only those tethered to him by patronage, because he is a large creature and he's basically a patron who can grant powers to warlocks. And he can grant dark power to those who pledge to him, but he's a ruthless litigant and always leverages the letter of any contract to get the better of any being he's made a deal with. So if you decide to take him on as a patron, oh boy, you better watch out. He holds court in Ice Cult, the place of corrupted ice, or a palace of corrupted ice. Its halls home to erudite demons, warlocks, and all manner of lesser evils. All the reflective surfaces within his domain warp the viewer and offer hideous glimpses into the ethereal underside. Surrounded and hidden by an eternal winter storm, this blizzard is fueled by the clashing energies of the underside and reality meeting. Magical protection or a solid constitution are required to make one's way through the barrier to his domain. This is where Murmur lives. Another pitiable creature that I love, Erudai loves. It's also just a little disturbing. A hairless kennel, one of those fat little hairless cat creatures. She owes Malak more than one favor. Murmur is a frequent visitor at the palace, always hoping to find some scrap of lore or knowledge to barter with in the outside world. She hates herself. She's conniving and wretched, living on borrowed time. He also happens to be providing information to agents of Whisperwind at the tea house, playing all sides for any scrap of information she can wrest free. She travels via hidden passages and dark, twisted reality slivers in the underside, allowing her to cross the Godlands more quickly than most, though frequent trips tire her greatly, requiring her to recuperate afterwards. Malak cannot track or contact her in the underside, so as dangerous as it is for her to spend time there, it's also the only place she's truly free of his insidious influence. She has a secret hiding place and retreat in the underside, though she spends only moments there at a time, lest anyone discover it. This is where she hides her greatest treasures and secrets, as well as her greatest fears made manifest, kept under metaphorical lock and key. So her literal fears and things like that are locked up in that place. And they are alive. It's a very dark character. Oops. All right. Just set somebody on fire. Whee! That'd be a horrible idea. Yay, eggs and corned beef hash for dinner. I'm jealous, Paul. Thanks. I had chili. Very tasty. Basically found the one thing his ungrateful kid was good for. Is it Ballister? No. I hope not. This eccentric, did you ever get your mouth washed out with soap? And Bap is Chrysanth just a sweet, innocent person who doesn't swear? Is this what I'm hearing? Or did you have to wash that out of her with all kinds of soap? Oh, he did have an unhealthy love of cats. That's true. That's cars, cats. I like it, Paul. I like all three of those. Zats, cars, and then cats. Struggling with autocorrect? Yeah, we're doing... Aruda wants to write more stuff up with Murmur. Okay. What the heck did it just put onto my music here? What is this? Yeah, that's what I wanted right after my 80s music. A Megan Trainor Zumba video. Okay, YouTube. Let's find something else here. Let's see. Some days. Ding ding. My work binging at me? It is my work. What does my work say? Please don't tell me you need me to do something right now. That would be annoying. All right, let's see. Wait, what? Sorry, this is a very long message. Shout asking. The two key words that I love to see in a Slack message: non-urgent. Guess what I'm doing? Setting my phone back down. Tag team of autocorrect and fat fingers on a phone. There's a reason giving up swearing for Lent is a thing with me. I need to break that habit. Uh-huh. Shocked at the level of cussing that goes on in a lab. Yeah, I just tend to not. And that way it has way more impact. If I actually swear, everyone just goes, what's going on? Whereas if some of my friends swear, everyone's just like, yeah, mm-hmm. And the moment they don't swear, everyone's like, you okay? Okay, good. I don't have to do that. Ba-ba-ba. You've seen it when you did deliveries to medical labs? Bap. Chris. Also didn't know that about the other 6-month goodies. Yeah, I believe it's a statue of Grix. And I think, and Chrisant can remind me if this is actually correct. I think that once you get a mythic character after the 6 month, once you make the mythic character, you will get the figure of it, right? I think. Wait. Okay, Chrisant. Does Bap swear? She deals with the rude eye. Just asking. And sorry, I'm sitting here doing this because I trimmed some of my mustache, and there's a couple of hairs here that I think I cut a little short. And so instead of going down like this, they're sticking up and they're poking my nose. I'm like, the problems of having a beard that grows really fast. Nothing like going to an airport and picking up a box of eyeballs for a lab. Hey! Okay. They're watching me. I like it. All right. Then we're looking over here. We have Moss. Do I have anything else to write about Moss? So named because of the prevalence of thick moss blanketing the entire grotto and series of waterfall this giant clan has claimed. Okay. Or cryotanks that are marked human flesh. How was Crescent talking like you and your husband the other night? Jensen, it was announced 2 days ago. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's recent. Recent info. It surrounds Fallwater, a natural basin near the pools that all the natural falls empty into. Moss Boss is the name of their chieftain, no matter who inherits the throne. So the giants who live in Moss have Moss Boss. And they live in a place called Fallwater. Because giants are brilliant. There is a grove to Arendor in Moss, inhabited by a soul forge who's been there longer than the giants. They built their enclosure to include his grove, which they protect. The soul forge has never moved, never spoken, never interacted with them, but they often leave offerings at his feet, only to find them gone the next morning. What they don't know is that the soul forge is still, but a number of mischievous fae live on and around his form and delight in getting offerings from the giants. One of the grander features of Moss is the hot caves, in which a massive sprawl of shallow hot springs keeps the place foggy and pleasant year-round. My gosh, guys. Ping, 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 ping. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I should talk more about getting in and out. I don't like putting too many specifics in here because it limits the DM to like what's written here, and they might not feel like they can. Some DMs feel like when it's written down, they can't change it, which is not true. But I like to leave little openings for DMs and players to infer things. Feel less I'm not. I was very bad at it. I told you guys I'm not good at impressions, but you guys don't listen to me. Missed the money you made doing that job. Hauling around eyeballs. Not enough sweetie for me or NYC for her pop. We listen. We enjoy how bad it is. I told her to say sweetie more. That's hilarious. You guys. Oh, man. I'm getting down to the hot sauce part of this coffee, so excuse me for a second. I'm hitting the hot peppers and stuff now because it's near the bottom. Oh, yeah, that's right. I also opened up the chatting areas of the Legend Seeker area of Moonskull Discord to non-paying members. So if you join the Discord, you can chat more over there. And you can see a bunch of the stuff that's been talked about. I think you have access also to... Do you have access to the systems part where you get to see some of the systems and some of the things that have been talked about, class reveals and things like that? I can't remember. But I think you get access to that stuff with the $5. I think you do. I am the best shill for the stuff that I'm working on with Erudai. I know all the specifics. Oops. I'm just a creative. All right. So, by the way, also, one second, I'll grab it over here. Move my pens and my pencils and stuff around. I've been playing around writing stuff and drawing stuff on paper because I like doing paper maps. So I've only done one thing so far because I didn't really have time to do much else because I was busy. But I've been playing around with, wow, I don't even know if this is going to show up on screen. Playing around with the pencils, trying to see what I can actually write down for stuff. I'm playing around with villages and layouts of villages and shapes and stuff. This one isn't going to work because it's too close to the river and the lakes and stuff. The scale is completely off on it. But I'm going to start playing around on my paper here to start getting some ideas of some of these villages and the placement and the shapes and stuff. And so to that end, I also grabbed myself some replacements for my old fine line little pens and pencils and stuff. So I've been having fun with that, just playing around on paper. Because I used to have, when I was in high school, I made a map of these villages and things for my guys to play around in, but we almost never used it. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it was 36 or more sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper. I taped them all together. I had this massive map on my wall of this entire village and everything. I had every single house drawn out, everybody who lived in every single house, how the walls worked, how the villages worked, or the river and everything in the villages worked. It was a labor of love. Crazy high school kids back in the 80s. It was fun. And it was all done on scrap paper that my mom got from one of her jobs because we didn't have sheets of paper just to use. So it was all like office forms that had blank backs. Oh, that was fun. He opened up the feedback, chatting, and announcements to non-paying, opened everything else that was already done to people at $5 level. That's what it was. We'll start releasing the next batch to higher paying tiers. There we go. Which hot sauce is this? This is this one because it is... I was causing myself some pain today. This is the colon cleanser or colon cleaner. This is super freaking hot, which is why I've only had this much of the bottle all the time I've had it. Because you don't need much of this to scald yourself. At all. It was 36. Oh, my music stopped again. Why did it stop? Oh, it crashed. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm just reading through a couple of entries here that I'm not reading everything out in these entries. I'm just trying to decide if this is a good enough intro to the area or if I need to add some more bits and pieces. Because I'm reading about Mordecai's throne right now. Now, if you know the lore of Erudai getting convinced to go sit on the devil's chair when they went down to... was it down in Texas? Is that where they went? I don't remember now. They went to the cemetery and there was the chair built into the little brick wall that's part of a cemetery area. Oh, it was Orlando. Ah, okay. And he was convinced to sit on there, and it's supposedly the devil's chair, and it curses you. I added a place in this map that is called Mordecai's throne, and Mordecai is the god of death and the afterlife. And so, overlooking a dark mountain tarn, a great stone slabs rest on smaller stones, looking like a fallen menhir. So there's two small stones and a big flat stone that's been knocked over on top of it. But it appears to have been intentionally placed or toppled by inhuman hands. Excuse me. I think I just inhaled a piece of fuzz. But I can't tell. Can't tell if it's that or if it's something in the coffee. See if I can get it out of there. Knowing the cats, it's probably cat fur. But it could also be like a piece of the solids from that hot sauce, because that stuff is... It's hot. Anyway, it appears to have been intentionally placed or toppled by inhuman hands, a spot where only a giant could rest his weary bones. Tarn is believed by locals to have a link to the realm of Mordecai and is frequented by casters, witches, and others seeking to communicate with loved ones gone too soon. The woods here are ancient, gnarled, weathered, but they all are all dwarfed by the great tree the throne sits beneath. There we go. The oak's branches reach out and over the tarn, blocking out most light, causing it to always appear dark, deep, and murky. For as long as people can remember, beings have come to the tree and the throne, leaving offerings, prayers, and messages to their dead. Faded ribbons, wooden tokens, and small bones hang from the branches, creating a somber percussive threnody when the wind catches them. It's rumored to be bad luck to sit upon the throne, but youths and the unwise often tempt fate by doing so. Now, the part that's not written in here, and I should write this in here because this is what we talked about, is this is called Mordecai's throne. It sits beneath this black tree and all these offerings, and it looks basically into the land of the dead. And if you sit on it, you have some issues occasionally. You have weird sight and visions come to you. This was actually the place where Grix would come and sit after he killed Senna, trying to catch a glimpse of her, finding out what actually happened, because nobody knows when you kill a god if they had a soul, if their soul is gone, if they're destroyed. So he would sit there and try to catch a glimpse of her. And this was his kind of self-punishment place that he would go to. It technically is a portal to the underworld if you know what you're doing, or if you're a psychopomp. But he was neither, technically. But he just wanted to try and glimpse her, and it was basically a way that he was sort of torturing himself. But then he kind of got over it and decided that it didn't matter, and he fully turned evil after that, and just gave up on thinking about anything. So it's a very horrible, tragic place. Which is why you don't want to sit there. The most evil of the gods, you don't want to sit on his chair? No. Sevi got him to sit there. Yeah. MegaCon last Feb. You mean Sevi not telling him about it? Yeah, Sevi got him to sit there. It's hilarious. Like he'll never escape 36. Sevi saying, sit in the cemetery chair. It'll be cool. Now you're going to die. Because her and Michaela didn't read 2 sentences after the Lord says, if you sat on the chair, you would die within a year. Oh, yeah. Keep the important parts at the end, read the entire spell. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Get to the end. Oh. Crap. All right. I think I got that piece of hair out of my throat. Ah, I hope. Yeah, you always want to look and see what you're really getting yourself into. Because if you don't, you could be in some problems. Be in some problems? Yeah, you'll be in problems. That's what I meant to say. I'm good at this. Oop. All right. Experiencing interruptions? Find out why. Care if I'm experiencing interruptions on YouTube. Whatever. That is good advice, Jensen. Always read the whole spell. Ta-da. I'm trying. Oh, I think maybe I didn't put this in here. Let me go look at my original notes I wrote up about this place. Let's see. This is under the iconic locations. Notable locations for legendary characters. Okay. Where was I? Okay, that's the Sapphire Sands. Ah, there's the... Ah, this is the thing. This is the thing I didn't put in the notes yet, but I could now. Is once a person sits upon the throne, the place can take on a more sinister appearance to them at night. When the veil between life and death are thinner, the tree can appear to be full of hanging bodies, the tarn reflecting only the night sky, even in the daytime. So that was one of the notes I did not put in there, but I think I should translate it in here. Oops, that didn't. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna paste this. Paste. Paste options. Keep text only. Yep. Okay, we'll do that. There we go. Place can take on a more sinister appearance to them at night when the veil between life and death are thinner. Three can be filling. Reflecting. Whoops. Only the night sky, even in the daytime. Poor Fed. He acquired a personal demon in the form of a blonde Colombian lawyer. Well, not everybody gets to choose their destroyer. The guys in Ghostbusters did. All right. Okay. That's helpful. All right, I'm just reading something, sorry. People are great. People are awesome. By the way, I commented on a post somebody made earlier on X today talking about literature, and the reason that I got into that conversation, I brought those terms to Chrysant's attention, is people talking about literature and men not being in literary fiction, which is a weird subgenre anyway. But it's more than that. It's just men not really being published in a lot of other genres. And I mentioned that I had spent a lot of time doing queries and letters, sending letters to literary agents and everyone, and how difficult it was as a white guy to even get the stuff out there. And then people telling me, oh, we don't take submissions from, white guys right now, especially white cis males. I'm like, how'd they know? How did they know? They must have gone on my social media. I'm like, okay, whatever. Somebody said, well, have you thought about just, creating a new profile? Because, it doesn't have to be, you doing it. You could just make a new profile. I'm like, well, funnily enough, that's part of what I wrote about in the book, is people using a mask for their identity and this and that, whether that matters or not matters and stuff. So I talked about all that, and I basically just said I'd rather kind of be just me. I'll probably end up self-publishing. And there have been some interesting responses. I got a couple of messages from people. One of them was like, suck it up. It was obviously a very blue-haired person who said that. But yeah, there's interesting responses, so let's just say that. You saw my comments? Okay, yeah, because I think it was Razor Fist who mentioned something. He chose, just didn't realize what would happen. Yeah, it's weird. And I know some of you guys have been in my writing streams when I do those. And the manuscript wish lists and things that they don't want are... There's a lot of stuff to dig through to find somebody you can even bother sending a thing to that they won't just toss out of hand. Oh, the things are insane. Yeah, they're crazy. I should do another writing stream where I do more query letters. Not that I really want to send any more query letters out. Sorry, hot sauce is getting to me again. But I'm kind of thinking I should. It seems topical again. Razor Fist is fun. I know very little about him. I just know he exists, and I've seen him on, I think, Tuesday Night's Main Event, or has he been on Nerdrotic? I don't know. Maybe he's been on both. You guys got to convince the people on either one of those shows that they need to have me on there. And then I can pick on Jeremy on Tuesday Night's Main Event about liking Titanfall so much. But I don't know if they could stand to have another old person on the Nerdrotic channel because of, Gary. Might be too much old. Too much old. Right. And I can move this one here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Just watched this latest video. FNT has had him on a few times. Okay. It would be amusing. But I'm not well known. All right. I suppose I should look at the time here. Oh, I've only got a minute and a half. I'm sitting here like reading about the Hollow Crucible. Like, do I want to add something to the Hollow Crucible? Okay, we're not going to do that because the stream is almost done. So I'm probably going to be hopping on to play some more Abiotic Factor after this because my in real life game got canceled because everybody is so busy with work. But I'm going to take a break before I go back to my desk and I'm going to play Abiotic Factor for a while. It'll be great. Still a whippersnapper to you. Well, wait, who's a whippersnapper? Don't crash. Oh, I'll crash the game over and over. It crashed like 7 times last night. Just me wandering forward, just crashed. No reason. Whatever. Huh. Oh my gosh. My friend just sent me a message and said, I was chatting with somebody who friended me on X. I was thinking, this is really cool. They're really nice and they're very cute. And I was like, okay. Sends me a picture of the person's profile. I was like, oh, that's a pretty girl. He's like, yeah, I don't know who this is. They use the picture of somebody named Carly Rae Jepsen. He's like, I feel like an idiot. And I said, I don't know who that is. And he's like, I shouldn't know. I'm like, okay. I guess she was a singer. I was like, and I said to him, why would you ever just randomly start chatting with a random person who hops onto your X feed and says, hey, blah, 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 blah. It's just some random dude in a basement somewhere trying to get your information or something. I'm going to poop that game. No, I'm not going to poop that game again. Never. I shall not do it. All right, I'm going to close my thesaurus down. I bet I'm over time already. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. You guys, please thumbs up the stream. If you have any thoughts on LARP or any of the other things you talked about, if you have some more ideas for lore, anything, please throw some comments in there. It'll get this out to more people. And I will see you all for our final episode of Wednesday After Dark tomorrow. And then on Thursday for more of this on Legend Seeker. And then Friday for Strange Eons and so on and so on and so on. You can find me on my link tree. But I'm also going to be live on my channels a little bit after this, after I go take care of some stuff. And I'll hop on playing Abiotic Factor. So, good night.